more people in America drink coffee than water. So when you combine that we are dehydrated and you need water to break down our stool, it
Yes.
really shows why most people, like, the remedy would be, okay, intake your water count, right? But how many people can just go from not drinking water at all to 8 glasses a day and be disciplined enough to continue it, right? But what you provide is a direct remedy to the direct area. You're giving it that. And then you also prep people drink some water. So then your body just doesn't suck all of this up because
Right.
you're actually dehydrated, right? Because we aren't consuming enough water. And so I think at the beginning, it's going to take time for people to get used to the thought, right? Like when you talk about rectum cleansing and water, especially men, right? It's like, hold up, wait. But when you talk about extending people's life, right? When you talk
Yeah.
about our intestine being 6 feet long, I don't
Yes.
care how regulated you are, you need to clean that, right?
Absolutely. I wanted to say I think it's important that I do share as much as I do know about the colon and the colon hydrotherapy service, right? And
Mhm.
so it's very important for me to let the audience and viewers know that the colon is like a piping system, obviously, and it creates a plaster, and that plaster has is sticky around the colon walls. And when you introduce colon hydrotherapy, you start to break down that plaster, right? So that's why you need those 3 sessions, because the first session will introduce your body to the water. We don't know how your body's going to react, but it's absolutely going to start breaking down that old fecal matter. So your second session is going to get even higher, right? And the third session is going to go the highest within that short amount of time. I mean,
Are there different levels of pressure with the different?
the pressure. This is a gentle cleanse.
Okay.
So the water is set at 98 degrees. It can go from 98 to 100 degrees body temperature, and it's just a constant gentle flow.
Okay.
Sessions are 40 to 45 minutes, depending on how your body is reacting. And you're just comfortably placed on the device, doing cycles of holding the water and releasing it, kind of like clenching as
Mm.
long as you can, and then releasing.
And that's where that breathing comes in at, right? As
Right.
well. Okay. Got you. And so, for most people, I work out. I used to do martial arts and things like that. Breathing always takes the mind away from the experience and helps you
Yeah.
relax, right? And so I love the fact that it's incorporated, especially just with something that people need to get comfortable with. Breathing
Right.
just naturally helps you with that. So I love that, man. So how long has the Sacred Cleanse been in existence for?
So we are coming up on 1 full year at the end of the month. Okay. Serviced already over 500 colon hydrotherapy sessions.
Awesome.
We are affecting people and allowing. I like the fact that we're allowing women, because I also offer full body waxing. So I have a lot of waxing clients, but I'm opening this up to my Black female community to let them know that we absolutely need to start loving ourselves, starting with colon hydrotherapy. Colon hydrotherapy is considered a high enema. So it's a constant flow of water from the anus into the colon to break up that old fecal matter and start to release. The system that I have is an open system. So you're laying on a bed with a rectal nozzle inserted comfortably. And like I said, the constant flow of water to break up that old fecal matter. We have 5.5 to 6 feet of colon inside of us. So there's a lot of waste that needs to be relieved. And I feel like when we start getting into self love and self care, that's where we need to start as far as loving ourselves, because that waste is holding on to trauma and pain and a bunch of emotions. Initially, I got into colon hydrotherapy because my daughter was struggling with constipation, and we were in the hospital several times. And I feel like the health insurance industry is constantly sending you for tests, right? So they were sending us back and forth, the emergency room, back to pediatrics, and all over her just being full of waste. They were prescribing Miralax, which is, I think you're supposed to take so much at one time to relieve, but she wasn't having relief. So she was drinking the Miralax, but she wasn't relieving, and she was throwing up. because she had so much waste inside of her stomach that she couldn't even ingest anything. So I started digging and reading, and colon hydrotherapy is the solution to backed up waste, right? With an all natural service of constant flowing water into the colon to relieve the waste and the constipation. So that's how I end up in the colon hydrotherapy field. So in preparation, we want you to start drinking a bunch of water. This is a hydrotherapy session. And when you're dehydrated, which most people are, the water, you're dry in the inside. So the water basically is to break up the fecal matter. Once the water starts flowing inside through the anus, if you're super dry inside, nothing's really going to happen because your body's drinking the water from the rectum.
You're just leading us down. We have so many kids who are putting creams and things that aren't natural on their skin because they're having eczema, because they're having acne. I'm entrepreneur minded, right? So
Yes.
being an entrepreneur, the difference between an entrepreneur and a business owner is entrepreneurs look for voids in the market and create what we're missing, right? And so
Right.
is what you're absolutely doing. So a question I did have, what age do you think people should probably start this procedure, or should probably start looking into the hydrocolonoscopy?
I feel like you can start as early as 8 years old. There's technically no age limit on when you can start and when you can stop. Like, anybody can have the service, but you have to understand that this is a rectal nozzle being inserted through your. So, if you are comfortable, I start taking clients at 12 years old. The parent is in the room with them.
Okay.
There is breathing calming session before the rectal nozzle is inserted, just to make sure that the client is comfortable.
Would
But it's the dental service.
do you allow your adult clients to also have a visitor if they need to feel comfortable?
Yes.
These are things that, some people have people that they just trust, right? They have best friends, they have things, especially the first time you're trying something. And so for something like this, we just want to make sure that people are as comfortable as possible and that they.
Absolutely.
So, for anybody who's watching, if you need to bring a friend along, if your child is having constipation issues, eczema issues, and you want to try to coach them through this, just know that you don't have to not be, see what's going on. You actually get to be in the room and make sure everything is safe. So I love that. So there's some women at home who might want a new opportunity, might not want to go to med school, but want to help their community in a healthful manner. And you're presenting that stepping stone where they can help their community out and learn how to the entrepreneur lifestyle, right? Like, as much me and Rebecca were talking earlier, and we were talking about how your finances play such an important role in your health, right?
Absolutely.
Being able to afford going to the gym, being
Mhm.
able to get the 3 session hydrocolon therapy, right? And so it's all intertwined, but I think it's very important that we make sure we monetize things, especially when we're helping people. You're going to extend people's life cycle. And one of my questions, which you answered, so I didn't even ask, I was going to say, because I know Black men's problem, right? As a Black man, I know our problem, but I immediately associated this with us. And then to hear you say how your daughter having a constipation issue kind of made that keep going, it's like, oh my gosh, this is needed beyond the scope of what I was even thinking. Where do you kind of see this going? And Rebecca, just to let you know, Aaliyah is one of my clients, so I'm actually helping her with some financial understanding and actually learning how to scale, right? So what we're doing first, we always start with revenue and expenses, right? And we're focusing on what do we have to pay for so we know what we have to make, right? Then everything above what we have to make is things that we get to build our business with, right? And so the main reason why we create a budget is because when you go from making 5,000 a month to 20,000 a month, you will spend 20,000 in that month. Okay. And I don't want you to do that, right? Because when you made 5,000 a month, you made it work, right? And so we want to make sure that we're using that money like to build wealth in the future, right? That's what they say investing is, right? Investing is putting money somewhere now so it grows for you in the future, right? And so most of us, we don't think of investing with our business, but that's truly what you have to do every time you bring in money. And so what is your envision? I know you want to grow and expand, but what do you see Sacred Cleanse growing to?
In the next 5 years, or what do you mean in general?
The next 5 years is perfect.
Okay. My goal right now is to study and hammer out as much as I can. I would like to see the Sacred Cleanse servicing more than one person at a time, meaning I have more than one device. I would like to see myself doing a lot more educating as I learn and grow. I'm ready to hit the community, educating and bringing people in. I would like to see, I have an 18-year-old daughter, so I would like to see her jump on board and start educating with me. Eventually, I would like to see myself offering to become a teacher
Mm.
to certify other Black women to become colon hydrotherapists.
I
So that,
love
okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I love it. I love One thing I would recommend, right? You say you want to be a teacher. I would definitely recommend changing that and being a coach.
A
Now,
coach.
a teacher is what we get on YouTube University, right? Everybody gives us all the information, right? But a
Yeah.
coach is going to grab your hand and walk you through the process, right?
Yeah.
So a coach tends to be more valuable. They tend to last longer in your life, and
Hmm.
their services require a bit more than teaching, right? Because you get more personable. So I definitely want you to get into coaching other young females who might not want to go to college, but have that entrepreneurial spirit, right? And I don't know when this got in your heart and when you wanted to develop it, but maybe it was 10 years ago. And if you knew about this then, you might have pursued this then, right? And so I have a mentor that tells me the best customer you'll ever have is you 5 years ago, right?
Mm,
And so that when it comes to coaching, right? That's your best client, you 5 years ago. And so
I love. Thank
that's
you.
looking for. Yeah. And I feel like I see some of these people because I'm in the community, I have a charity. I talk in high schools about financial literacy and things like that. So I see young people of both genders who, have a mindset, feel like they know what they want to do, and it doesn't include college right away, right? So that's why I like coaching. A lot of people will you say mentoring, a lot, same thing. I think coaching is just more targeted to a specific thing. So when I have young ladies come and see you, they will be learning specifically about Sacred Cleanse and your process to doing that. When you have somebody who's just being a mentor, they normally come in and generalize things, you know what I mean? So trust me, coaching is definitely in your future because I'm gonna push you to do it as we do these things. That's it, man. And is there anything else that what do you hope to do? So this grows into that brand that you envision. Now you're wealthy. What do you plan on doing for your community, and what would you do with your free time?
Oh, that's a great question. If this grows bigger than what I can dream currently, I would just like to open a detox center. And we're not just doing offering colon hydrotherapy, excuse me, but we are juicing and eating better, educating the community on nutrition. I would like to dig a little bit more deeper into detoxing the body, all naturally. So,
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah, I'm a Dr. Sebi disciple.
mm,
I read the book Eat to Live, you know what I mean? And so when you start to understand that our diet dictates everything about us, what we put in is what we get out.
yes,
And see, we're creatures of habit. So because we've grown accustomed to having a breakfast, lunch, and dinner, we think that's how it's supposed to be, right? And then
right.
eat meat, we have the teeth for it. And so, I'm not a vegetarian. I do eat meat, and so I don't judge people on what they choose to do, but because we have free will. But it's like Adam and Eve started in the garden with just fruit, right?
Yes.
And so sometimes we get too far, and when you need that cleanse, sometimes you just need that water base, because that's mostly what fruit has in it, watermelon, apples, most of that is really a lot of water. you
Yes.
know? And so, Aaliyah, this was a pleasure for me having you on, really learning a
Thank-
bit about you, getting in depth. And I can already tell we are definitely gonna have to have you on again, because we're gonna have to make sure people know about this ongoing. And I always tell my people, I'm committed to your success. So I want to make sure people hear you, see you, and get to grow with you. And so, last thing I always ask, how can people find you? Somebody wants to reach out to you and get your services. How can they do that?
So I am on Instagram at The Sacred Cleanse. I also have a Facebook page, The Sacred Cleanse. And my website is www.thesacredcleanse.com.
I love that uniformity right there. So if you guys are looking to maximize your health, if you're looking to be around good people who are going to help you, please reach out and look Aaliyah up at The Sacred Cleanse. And even if you don't take advantage of it, learn about it. Tell people in your community about it, because it can help somebody stop using products that might cause future issues and be able
Right.
to have all natural way of helping themselves. So, Aaliyah, thank you again for coming with us today and sharing yourself. And I will speak to you soon. We hope to see you soon.
Thank you guys so much for having me.
Yes, no problem.